Saudi Arabia's NEOM was pitched as a doomed desert fever dream. Yet here it is, rising at a pace that defies logic. But peel back the sheen, and it's a mess. Thousands dead, workers vanishing into thin air, and a chilling blueprint to monitor every soul inside. Is this a utopia or a dystopia in the making? Buckle up. We're plunging into the $1.5 trillion mega project that's dazzling the globe while concealing a nightmare. It began as a prince's audacious vision, a gamble to redefine a kingdom, until the shadows crept in and swallowed it whole. The promise of a megacity. It all ignited in 2017, when Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, unleashed his bombshell at Riyadh's future investment initiative, NEOM, a city to eclipse every urban legend, a $500 billion moonshot to wean Saudi Arabia off its oil-soaked lifeline. Vision 2030 was the roadmap, shift to tourism, tech, and opulence, and NEOM was its glittering centerpiece. MBS sold it as the planet's first AI-driven nation, a semi-independent enclave with its own laws, taxes, and courts, sprawling across 26,500 square kilometers in remote Tabuk province. The hype was electrifying. Perched at the Red Sea's northern edge, NEOM dangled irresistible bait. Pristine beaches, endless sun, a summer haven for the world's richest wanderers. Saudi vowed 460,000 jobs, a $48 billion GDP jolt, and a city unlike anything humanity's seen. Imagine it, 9 million souls thriving in a zero-carbon Eden. Fueled by wind and solar, no cars clogging the streets, every necessity a breezy 5-minute stroll away. Investors salivated. Billions flooded in from global moguls, celebrities sang its praises, and headlines roared. The future has landed. The lineup was jaw-dropping. The Line, a 170-kilometer-long, 500-meter-tall mirrored metropolis slicing through the dunes. Oxagon, a floating industrial marvel bobbing on the sea. Sindalah, a lavish island retreat for the ultra-wealthy, and Trojena, a ski resort carved into desert mountains. Architects unveiled designs straight out of a sci-fi blockbuster, towers gleaming like liquid metal, drone taxis zipping overhead, robot maids tending to whims. By 2022, construction roared to life with trumpets blaring. Saudi swore it'd be finished by 2030, a megacity too humble Dubai, Singapore, and beyond. For a fleeting moment, it seemed plausible. A desert monarchy vaulting into a dazzling tomorrow. But shadows that vast don't stay quiet, and NEOM's fissures were about to rip wide open. The dark collapse unveiled. Then the fairy tale fractured. 5 years deep, by 2022, NEOM was a punchline. Just two lonely buildings poking out of an ocean of sand. Costs ballooned to $1.5 trillion, beyond reason, and that 2030 finish line shoved to 2039, if ever. Experts sneered. This isn't vision, it's delusion. The line's first phase alone, a staggering $320 billion, turned into a financial black hole. Crews clawed 170 kilometers of desert, poured 20,000 cubic meters of concrete daily, shifted 1 million cubic meters of earth each week, but the needle barely moved. Why? The reality was grimmer than any delay. The lines mirrored insanity, 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, stretching 170 kilometers, was an engineering fever dream. 9 million people sardined into a strip slimmer than Manhattan? Absurd. Oxagon's floating city promised to handle 12 million shipping containers annually. Sindalah beckoned yacht-owning jet-setters. Trojena dangled desert skiing for the bold, but beneath the dazzle, a grotesque truth festered. Reports trickled out. Forced evictions leveled ancient tribal villages. Residents hauled off screaming, some gunned down for resisting. Then the workers. 100,000 migrants from India, Nepal, Bangladesh, toiling in 120-degree infernos, cramped into filthy camps reeking of despair. Here's the gut punch. Watchdogs dropped a bombshell. Over 21,000 dead. Heat stroke, falls from dizzying heights, sheer exhaustion. Bodies stacked up, swept under the rug. Another 100,000 gone, swallowed by the desert. No paperwork, no trace. Whistleblowers muzzled. families left clutching photos and prayers. And the creepiest twist? NEOM's AI wasn't just for optimizing traffic. Leaked plans revealed a panopticon, cameras on every corner, tracking every step, every heartbeat. A surveillance web woven into the city's DNA. Saudi branded it smart living. Critics howled digital cage. The utopian sheen crushed under a dystopian weight too heavy to ignore. The truth behind the hype. Saudi tried to smother the stench. No press conferences, no mea culpas, just a wall of silence. Locals dubbed it the ghost city. Tourists steered clear and rumors swirled. Cursed by greed, rotting from corruption, maybe both. Then, 2023 dangled a lifeline. Progress peeked through. Sindalah debuted. 20 acres of plush resorts, yacht docks, Michelin-starred kitchens. A glitzy signal NEOM wasn't flatlining. Trojena's ski slopes got slick new renders. Oxagon's ports coughed to life, but the polish was a lie. Costs smashed $1.5 trillion. And Nadmi Al-Nasser, NEOM's CEO, bolted. No goodbye, just dust in his wake. Insiders dished. Chaos ruled. Budgets hemorrhaged. Deadlines were bedtime stories. The lines, 9 million residents? Experts scoff. 1 million's a stretch, leaving towers as hollow as Burj Khalifa's upper floors. Renewable energy sounded noble. Wind turbines whirring, solar panels gleaming, desalination humming. But scaling it to sustain millions? A fantasy scribbled on napkins. No cars, 5-minute walks. Charming till you clock the desert's a blast furnace. Workers' graves testify to that. And that AI tracking? Leaked documents painted a dystopia. Facial recognition on steroids, data harvested like crops, privacy torched for efficiency. Saudi marketed a zero-carbon paradise. What emerged was a surveillance sandbox stained with blood and broken promises. Look at Jeddah Tower, Saudi's other fiasco, stalled at 30%, a $1.2 billion skeleton taunting the skyline. NEOM's grander, gutsier, but the DNA's identical. Overreach, underperform. Analysts wager $1.5 trillion won't even half build this beast. It's not a leap forward. It's Saudi's next monument to folly, a mega project mirage sinking into the dunes. Can NEOM survive? But what if NEOM defies gravity? Could it rewrite the game or just bleed out in the sand? Optimists urge a rethink. Shrink the lane's wild ambitions. Double down on Sindalah's luxe allure, yachts, resorts, a billionaire sandbox. Tech evangelists bet on AI. Smart grids to save power. Robot crews to cut costs, a city that hums on autopilot. Trojena might snag skiers. Oxagon could ship goods. Smaller victories over a mega crash. Dreamers push crazier. Turn it into a spaceport. Rockets blasting off, cosmic tours, hitching NEOM to Saudi's starry-eyed goals. Reality's less forgiving. $1.5 trillion just the ante. Full completion might claw past $2 trillion. Workers keep dropping. 21,000 dead's a conservative tally. Insiders hint, and the world's watching. Governments probe. Rights groups file lawsuits. Migrants vanish without a whisper. Displaced tribes plot revenge. Some swear they'll torch what's built. AI trafficking freaks out potential residents. Who'd sign up for a glass cage? Saudi's coffers are straining. NEOM's sprawl pits the line, Oxagon, Trojena against each other for crumbs. Jeddah Tower looms nearby, a rotting warning. Same hype, bigger price tag. It's a gamble. A leaner triumph or a desert wreck too buried to salvage. NEOM was Saudi's sci-fi gamble. A $1.5 trillion lunge at tomorrow, drowning in blood, deceit, and arrogance. It's a cautionary tale. Utopias seduce, but nightmares cash the checks. So, is it doomed to join Jeddah Tower's graveyard, or can it beat the odds? Toss your verdict. Will NEOM implode next?